Hello everyone, this is Chris Kim, your favorite K-pop maniac, and today I'll talk about Leehi's ballad track Breath, produced by JONGHYUN, and obviously it's a tribute to JONGHYUN. First, I'll talk about the background story of the song. Second, I'll talk about the production of the song, and third, I'll talk about the reception, how critics and audience received the song. And at the end of the clip, I'll talk about the opinion of the song to end the clip. So before discussing the song, I'd like to talk about JONGHYUN a bit. Personally, he was the first idol member who made me think proud of the industry, because he was not just a great performer, but he was a great producer. Of course, at first he was a great game-changing performer with the dance and the vocal and everything, but then later he grew out as a producer and he was an artist. He produced 3 solo albums of himself and he was the leader of the project, and he also participated in other artists such as Leehi or IU, that kind of artists, and he was a true producer too. So this song Breath is the biggest hit single from JONGHYUN basically. Before JONGHYUN, there were other idol members who were also a producer, like Zico or G-Dragon, or even Teddy, the producer behind Blackpink and 21, was one time a boy band member of the group, one time ironically, but they were all like outlier. They were not part of the system. But in SM, JONGHYUN was part of the system, and he grew out of the system to become producers, which I think meant a lot for the K-pop industry. Now it's not just a performer; they are making artists. They are making true musicians. And of course, Breath is producer JONGHYUN's biggest hit. So I would like to talk a bit more about it. So let's talk about the song first. The Breath. Leehi was a superstar. She was participated in the first season of the Korean audition program K-pop Star, and she sang Mama Do by Pixie Lott and got a huge fame in Korea and Nest. And then right after the program, she released a single called 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, which again got a huge fame. But then, until 2016, Leehi didn't have a chance to publish the music. She was just featuring a couple songs and that was it. For 3 years, she did not do anything, pretty much. She was just waiting and waiting for the YG label to publish the music. And then YG decided to make Tableau, the leader of Epic High, the hip-hop group, to become an executive producer of the album of Leehi, because he was too busy perhaps to making a song. So now it was Leehi, Tableau, and DJ Tukcut of Epic High who are producing the album. Back then, Tableau was the CEO of a indie label, High Ground, which was a label under YG, so that means that now the High Ground is leading the product of the Leehi's album basically. So now Leehi's album became more indie, more dark, and that's when JONGHYUN came in. So Tableau and Leehi decided to get a song from JONGHYUN, an idol superstar of another label, SM. So not even just a veteran producer, but idol member. That was a pretty bold move, I think. And JONGHYUN was having a hard time making the song, apparently. Before the release of the album, JONGHYUN posted on Twitter that he was so thankful to get a song request from Leehi. Then apparently Leehi rejected his song again and again and again, so he had to rewrote until he got accepted. But in the end, Breath became one of the signature work of Leehi and JONGHYUN, so it all ended well, I think. So let's look at the credit. JONGHYUN wrote his lyrics completely by himself. JONGHYUN and his composing team, We Freaky, composed the song together. The beat was made from Korean hip-hop artist Filter, He's a producer who is well known for his co-working with Dynamic Duo. He also produced songs from many other idols such as BTS in the song Stigma, and JONGHYUN's single She Is was one of his work too, basically. In ballad, I think the most important part of the music is lyrics and melody. In dance, it's more about the beat, it's more about the performance. And I think perhaps that's why generally K-pop hit singles are not ballad, although Koreans love ballad. We must understand the small nuance to fully enjoy the song. That's why it's like a poem. It's hard to read Shakespeare and appreciate it until it's translated. I mean, how can you just understand the rhymes and the small details of the verbal usage of Shakespeare if it's translated, right? And just like that, it's hard to translate Korean ballad. But I highly recommend you guys to read the English translation version of the lyrics of Breath. It is fully written by JONGHYUN, and you can see what he feels about life. It's really terrible too that I realize, and now we realize that we enjoyed his loneliness, his depression, and now just the songs means a lot different for everyone after the tragedy. This song got #1 on the chart after releasing, but more importantly, this song became a steady seller. I mean, it kept coming back from the chart. The song became a steady choice for the indie radio station, and this song obviously came back after JONGHYUN passed away as one of the tribute songs for him. And this song was praised by many other artists. For example, Kim Tae-woo, who is a former JYP legend and a lead singer of boy band G.O.D., picked this song as a song he wished to sing. He asked JONGHYUN to write a song, which obviously would not happen now. I wanted to review this song for tributing JONGHYUN because it showed how talented JONGHYUN is, I think. He was, of course, game-changing performer, great dancer, great vocalist, but most importantly, he was an artist. He could lead the project and actually make the music, with others' help, obviously. So he even made a high acclaimed hit song which moved so many people, like that of Breath. I read one article from Guardians which linked JONGHYUN's death and K-pop industry's flaws, its bad treatment. I mean, first of all, I honor Guardian, and I think this kind of article shows that K-pop is becoming a global phenomenon. But I want to say something about this article because I think it's simply wrong. K-pop business is now much more complex than that article showed. Morgul and fans just, grabbing those idols and just choke them until the death almost. I mean, sure, JONGHYUN went through a competition, and sure, his early works were probably produced by SM producers and executives, and he probably couldn't choose anything. And sure, when JONGHYUN was dating a Korean actress Shin Se-kyung, fans didn't love it at all. They hated it. But it's not the end of the story. SM, after a while after the career, let JONGHYUN use his creativity. I mean, he released 3 solo studio albums, and 2 of them were ballad, which was not as profitable as a dance work. SM knew it, but they just let him do it because he wanted to do it, actually. And SM supports him to produce others' work, such as IU, EXO, Lil Kim, and Lee Hi's works, basically, which shows that they're just doing what label has to do, supports artists' creativity. Also, I'd like to point out that in 2013, JONGHYUN supported LGBT movement through his Twitter account. The point is, he could speak to an edgy issue if he wanted to do. I mean, it's not like he was a slave to amusing Morgul. If he was, they would never let him speak that kind of issue. Being a star is such a hard job, actually. It's stressful, competitive and tiresome. Pop stars like Kurt Cobain, Donny Hathaway, and Michael Jackson, they all passed away because of the dark side of the stardom. And when the tragedy happens, we don't just blame the pop industry and devalue it. We just pray for them and support the artist and his fans. So may he rest in peace, and it's such a huge loss for K-pop and for the world, obviously. But I'm thankful for his work, and that's it. This was Chris Kim. Bring K-pop news to the world, no matter how sad it is.